Keep going.
No, my favorite movie of all, number one movie in the world is Gladiator, with Russell Crowe. You can't beat that guy. Yeah.
Did you see the second one?
Yeah, dude, not even close, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. It needed somehow Russell Crowe in that second movie. Even if he was the shark, it would have made it better. But so
they had sharks in the second one, right? Random like animals.
The alien dogs.
Yeah. Alien monkeys, right?
I don't know what they were.
Yeah, whatever they were.
So here's my story. After that movie came out, 90% of all men grew a beard, including myself, dude. That movie, Russell Crowe made men grow beards.
I watched it with Alexandre because they used to say he used to look like Russell Crowe, when he was younger.
You?
No, Alexandre.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, let's go.
Well, I read the book. So I was flying from LA to Italy. And I knew that it was going to be like a 15 hour flight. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to read. So I read the book. Then I watched the movie. Russell Crowe, man, he's the man. He's the man.
Yeah.
No. Oh, we haven't started yet.
No, yeah, we did.
Oh, we did.
We're on.
Stay square a little bit.
I want to tell you something. Alberto and we did that little snippet at Masters.
Yeah.
Right? 150 plays and views, man.
1,000, yeah.
Right. 1,000.
Yeah,
50,000 views, dude. So either they like older people or
they like the beards. The beard, one beard.
Russell Crowe. Yeah, man, but
Yeah, surprising though. But man, like it's been a lot of years, and I talked to a lot of black belts and people that have been here for a long time, and a lot of them started because of that Sunday Masters training and talking to you and you inviting them over.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh wow, it all comes down to them coming by for like a year, a couple of years, some years. They're like, man, I really like it here. I wanna make this my home, and they end up like staying.
I'll give you an example of one. Gilbert just came out on your podcast.
Yeah.
He did an amazing job. I met him once, I think, in another gym, and I said, hey man,
4th degree black belt,
right? Amazing guy too. On top of
yeah.
that. Amazing dude. And I said, hey, come over to Alberto's Sundays master class. Is coming over, And he goes, do I have to pay or anything? And I'm, dude, what are you talking about, brother? Come over and train. He's never left.
Yeah.
He's never left. He ended up joining the Legacy.
Yeah.
And now he's like all over Pasadena, wherever, we're training. And he's there every Sunday.
Yeah. He was at the fundraiser open mat we did yesterday as well.
Yeah.
He was actually here in the morning doing the Sunday Masters, and then he went there after like me, and we were there too, just supporting,
Yeah, no, we've made a lot of friends. We've brought people from different gyms to look at a perspective. From all the gyms that I've trained at, and I train at various gyms, like, I'll move around, travel, and
been around for a long time.
Been around long time. And I'll tell you, no other gym has what Legacy has. First of all, nobody has a master's class, which all the young guys want to jump in, right? They all want to come to taste the waters, man. Old man strength is real, brother. But nobody has that. Nobody has a nucleus of 36 and above that just want to train with our age groups, with the masters. Nobody has that, number one. Number two, the extensive opportunities of training that Legacy has, no other gym has. And I think I'm speaking for a lot of folks, but
what kind of things are you talking about? Special classes or the amount of classes, the schedule?
No, the amount of classes, the amount of opportunities that people get to train. If some folk, like, give you an example, everybody, you lose everything in your life, like girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, you can train every single day and get back to where you need to be, right?
Yeah.
But aside from that, the diversity of people that train, the partners, the amount of ladies that train at your school is not the amount that many other schools have. That opportunity is unique, right? So that I know for a fact, just moving around the entire world, kind of everywhere I go, I take my gi, my belt, and I train or I teach, and that is unique.
The community, the diversity of the community.
Yeah, the diversity, the connectedness, you know, where people are talking to each other. They find each other on Instagram. They're, oh, you train at Sunday, you do Sunday confession, right? Like maybe people just know me from there.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I saw you, man, on a video. You know what I'm saying? And it's unique. I mean, you have a ginormous group of people, you know?
Yeah, I was at my daughter's, she did a wrestling training, right? And wrestling dad, you know, John Bosco, just random, right? He's like, oh, yeah, I went to the Sunday confessions. I'm a purple belt. I'm a, yeah, what's his name? He has a mustache. His kids are good wrestlers, his daughter, too.
There's like a bunch of purple belts. Man.
Yeah, yeah. I think he came once, you know?
Yeah.
But he remembered coming by, and we talked about you, and it was just like a random kind of, he just sat next to me, and we started talking, and he had been to Sunday Masters.
You know what? One day this older black belt came from like San Francisco or somewhere up north, right? And Gilbert says, you know, here's the mayor.
That's right. That's right.
It's like a Sunday confession, dude. You know, I feel like I remember you teaching me the word conferidor. You know, I'm no longer the conferidor, but you know, I'm the mayor, right?
What's a good word for that? Like kind of the enforcer,
right?
The
like,
enforcer.
I've told people, you know, a couple of things like, you know, if you're being a butthead, dude, you're out, man.
Yeah.
People come to train and be happy with just the friends that we have and the new friends. But if you are we've kicked a couple folks out, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
They just come in with the bad vibe, you know, and like the older grappler doesn't want to train with that type of person. They want to train hard. They want to train.
The young guys, right? There's a depending on what their goals are, what you want to do. Like most people don't want to have a spaz or somebody that's trying to like hurt you, right?
Yeah.
Bad intentions.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this, dude. We have some tough people there.
Yeah.
Man. You have some tough people there, dude. Right?
Yeah, like Edson, right? Sururu would always say, like, man, it's supposed to be the master's training, but it's like the toughest training of the week, you know? Because it's like a mat filled with black belts, right?
Well,
good black belts, diverse black belts, different styles, different guys.
So Savage is like our, you know, our martyr there, right? Like we look at Savage, we go, we want to get there one day, right? So I believe that I'm gonna just speak for myself on this one. The window begins to kind of close a little bit, right? So when we come on Sunday, man, you forget about age, about anxiety that you may have, anything with work or some baggage. You forget about everything. You get on the mat, and you're an hour and a half with just folks that are like-minded, that want to train, multiple colors, right? So we've got very, very little whites, but we have a lot of blue, some blue, but the majority is black, black belt. And that becomes the best class of the entire week, right? Because you get to sharpen some skills.
Yeah.
You train, you go to classes, and your professor teaches you moves, or you study moves, however you do it, and then you come on Sunday and you apply it, man.
Yeah.
Right? It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a unique thing, I think. For me, at least, speaking of myself, like, you know, Sunday was my day off, right?
Yeah.
And I come in Sunday morning, and
I want to say that I convinced Professor Alberto to come on Sundays.
Well, it's like this thing now.
They
like,
look for you, though.
Yeah,
There is a difference. I think I speak for everybody in this school and Legacy. When Alberto teaches the class, there is a different vibe. When you come on Sundays, people have a different, even if you're out there just speaking with somebody after a big round, there's a different vibe. Let's be honest, right? Okay, so I said it. It's the truth.
Yeah, but it's yeah. Thank you. But just you know, and I think of the dads, and it's like, you know, you do it before we said it in our video, right? Like the dads, or, you know, people with families or not, even if they don't, but they come in before maybe their kids or their whole family's up, and they get their training out of the way. I feel kind of free. Like my family, they're pretty much sleeping still. And by the time I get home, like they're just getting up.
And you could go and cook for them, right?
Yeah, I can like
bring them breakfast.
Yeah, breakfast. Can do something, right?
You know our buddy Wade?
Yeah.
Dude, buddy Wade's amazing, man. If you don't know Wade, Wade's amazing. He's a great jiu-jitsu guy, but he's also just a great person all the way around. And his kids.
Wade Bowling.
Yeah, the voice. He's like you need him to read your book and with that guy's the guy to read your book online.
Mm-hmm.
But he'll bring his kiddos, man. This is his day, dude. Sunday is his day, and he'll bring his 2 babies there. They'll they'll relax with him right there for an hour. He gets his training, goes home, and becomes dad again. But we talk on the phone all the time, and he's like, "It's Sunday, man. It's Sunday. I can't wait till Sunday." You know, one of the things, I think you didn't know this, but you know that I've played soccer my whole life.
Of course, yeah.
And played all the way to college, right? And the unfortunate here, in at least growing up, you know, with soccer here in the United States, if it rains really hard, they cancel games. If it's extremely hot and the air quality is not that great, they cancel games, and the games are on Sundays. And I used to play 7 days a week, and then you know I loved it. I started to start falling in depression because they would cancel my game, and I was looking forward to play.
Like after college and years after that, huh?
Yeah, when you no longer play in this team, like a college team or a high school team or a club team, and you're an adult, and I had, you know, with my sons and whatnot, they play, but I looked forward to play my Sunday game, regardless if it was like fire and brimstone, dude. I wanted to play.
Yeah.
That's when it changed, and I found, you know, like I did Muay Thai for a while, but Muay Thai, it's cool, it's beautiful. You just get hit in the face a little bit more, right? But I found Jiu-Jitsu, and Sunday Confession became that for me, and I think it does for a lot of folks. You know, long day, long week, hard life or whatever, however you do it, however you look at it, and you come on Sunday and you're alive.
You were like at the beginning of your educational career when I was pretty. When was that? 20.
Long time ago. My son Luca Tarca.
He was like 4 years old at the time.
3, dude.
He's
I met you at 2. I met you when he was 2.
Yeah.
Because we had our seminar at 3.
Yeah.
And now he's 20, right?
Yeah.
So that's 18 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
It's a long time.
Yeah. We were talking about just how the whole like jiu-jitsu. What I remember you came in, we did like an open mat, and you came in and we met, and what made you stick to jiu-jitsu? What made you fall in love with jiu-jitsu? Because you did Muay Thai, you did different martial arts. What made you stick and love?
Yeah.
Stay with jiu-jitsu.
One day, the first time that I got to partake in jiu-jitsu, I was obviously a white belt, but I did a Muay Thai class, and then a friend of mine who was a blue belt said, "Hey man, you know, come and take this jiu-jitsu thing." And I'm like, "Nah, it's kind of weird, bro. I don't know if I want to get that close to a dude," which probably goes through a lot of people's brains, right?
Yeah, it's different,
at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
It's different. He's like, "No, you got to try this." And it wasn't even gi, and I love gi. It was a no-gi class, and they had one guy come and teach only on Wednesdays. So Monday through Saturday, Muay Thai, kickboxing. Wednesday, they had a jiu-jitsu class. And it was Free Taylor, one of the Dirty Dozen for, you know, first John Jock Machado American black belt.
Mm-hmm.
He was teaching this one class. And my buddy's like, "Just come check it out." I'm like, all right. That day on that class, the only thing I had was I could take a punch, resiliency, and cardio. The last roll that I had that day was a 200 and something pound, all tatted up biker dude who was also a white belt, but he was ginormous. So you're like, you look at this guy, you're like, damn, I gotta fight this guy, dude. He got tired and I tapped him out with the ugliest rear naked choke you've ever seen. I think it was like this. I don't know what it was, but that day I realized a smaller guy can beat a bigger guy. And at that time it was just cardio because I didn't have any instruction yet. But we can beat the bigger guy. After that day, never kickbox again. That was the last time that I had gloves on my hand, and it was just grips. It was just jiu-jitsu. And then we did no-gi for a year, and then after that I started just gi. So it was amazing.
Once you got into jiu-jitsu, how much soccer did you play after that?
So soccer has always been my first sport. And I was, at the time when I found jiu-jitsu, I was playing college soccer. Right after the season ended, it went from 7 days a week to 5 days a week to 3 days a week. And finally, I just didn't want to play soccer because I didn't want to get hurt to go train. you know?
Wow.
Yeah, and so it just like so then it became my secondary sport, and then I started playing. Like once in a while, somebody will call me, "Hey, Leonidas, could you come and just play in this tournament with us?" And I'm like, "Sure." And while I was playing, guess what? I missed jiu-jitsu, and that was it. So now then I just started watching my sons play, but you know, sometimes I have dreams of playing soccer again. You know, even I'm older, right? But I had dreams of playing soccer and doing what I used to do, and then I'd like, there's no way that I would like our buddy Ricky.
Yeah.
Ricky wants
Ricky Toth.
Ricky wants to take me to play soccer, and I'm like, I'll go, Ricky. And then, but he plays on Sundays, man. There's no way I'm missing Masters training, dude. So that's what happened, you know.
It's funny, right? Before the Sunday Masters, right? We did. We were biking. Remember, we were road biking. We did that for a little bit. Eric Echery, and we would start at the bottom of Victory at Griffith Park, and we'd climb all the way up to Latunia Canyon to the 210, right?
Yeah. You know that I had a revelation during that time? Yeah, man. I almost quit.
Quit?
The ride. I almost said, you know what, dude? I don't like this, man. I'm turning back, you know? And then I saw you, and I'm like, wait a second, dude. I got to represent, man. I got to finish this, dude. And that I can't let Eric do this and me not do this, dude. So I did it. We handled it. We took it, but it was close, man. We were like in this turn. I was like, dude, this sucks, dude.
It hurts, right?
Yeah, man. I'm like, I'm about to turn, and I said, no. My mind says, I cannot, dude. I cannot. Alberto's here. I'm Eric's mentor. Just kidding. I'm like, what will he say if I quit, dude? So I made it, man. I made it happen. And then, you know, that's how your mind is. Like when
once you do it once, you're like, I can do this.
Yeah, we've done it after that. We've done it a couple times. Or like sometimes when you're on the mat and you're like, you know, we all get butterflies a little bit. And I don't care who you are, man. If you don't get butterflies, you're probably not human, right?
Yeah.
But then once you grip and you make one little move, you put your foot on their their knee or something to go for a sweep, everything changes, you know, and you're like, I could do this. And that's what jiu-jitsu does for you, right? You get to challenge your fear.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you face your fears.
No, you face your fear.
And then you become more resilient, better, right? Better person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Eric looks up to you, right?
Yeah, right. I even got his bike, his original bike. He's like, I got a new bike, and I got his road bike, right, to do those Sunday mornings. And then he was trying to get me to go, and then after the Sundays became Sunday Masters. I was like, man, I'd rather train
one or the
jiu-jitsu.
other, right? But I'll tell you this about Eric, though, man. He doesn't play with bikes, dude. You and Eric have like the Mercedes-Benz of bikes. I got this old little Fuji, man.
That's right. Yeah.
I got this old yellow Fuji, and these guys are rolling with like, you know, the Rolls Royce of bicycles, dude. They like runs. It's electric for you, man. That's why it was hard for me.
I wish it was like that, but yours was definitely
old.
Was like because you have the shoes, right? I had the shoes, or you click in, and you had you just step in like a.
Yeah, man, that was, you know, I had a different bike. And they do say, it's like, for example, you know how your gi is like your suit, right? Like when I go, today I'm casual, right? But when I go to work, I wear a suit. And it can't be any suit. It has to be a suit that fits me to make me feel better. So when I present, I'm presenting well. And the bike is the same way. And the gi is the same way. You know, you're not going to roll with the gi that makes you feel uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
It's weird like that, but it's true.
Yeah, I was trying to think at the beginning because I didn't have a bike at the beginning, and I toughed it out too, you know.
Yeah, no, but mine was tough, dude.
And then Eric was like, "Hey, I have a bike. I think I'm gonna get a new bike. You want my old bike?" I'm like, "Yeah, it sounds good."
Yeah, that's a beautiful bike, though, man.
Yeah.
The tune-up costs more than my bike.
Yeah, I haven't. Like, why don't you sell that bike? I'm like, I don't know, just in case, you know.
It's beautiful. It's a good bike.
Yeah. Yeah, and here we are, Sunday Masters, all these years later. It was nice. That little video we did, just random, right?
Yeah.
At the end of training. 15 years, right? 15 years, pretty much, of doing this.
Well, there's a thing. I'm not sure if we hit it on the last time we spoke, but there was a time where before Sunday Confession even became even close to our mind, there was a cage down here. Remember that cage?
Yeah, we had a cage.
We had like an MMA cage right there, and they had classes going on, and then Alberto gave me 2 hours every Sunday. You didn't know that, did you? 2 hours every Sunday. I was a brown belt. and my game just went. You know, we always think about like, you want your students to eventually beat you sometime, right? You want them to get the skills and build the confidence. And I remember, you know, it's just like I look forward to those 2 hours. We would work and train, and I'd get my butt kicked. And then we started to level off, and then the training became good for both of us, you know? And those 2 years definitely like set the pathway to just how I built my game, you know? How what's my go-to move or my A game, and then I remember, you know,
Made your confidence grow.
confidence. But you used to tell me, you go, you know, your soccer legs help you a lot.
Yeah, it's like your guard recovery has always been like sick from all the thing from the soccer
Yeah.
training.
And now that we're a little bit older, wiser, you know, how when you become a black belt, you know, you start to look at jiu-jitsu a little differently in the sense of like, you get to. I was talking to one of your new black belts. I had a new black belt that came on Sunday. I think his name is his name Roy.
Roy.
He just got his black belt like last week, but he comes on Sundays. He's a Filipino kid.
Filipino kid.
Yeah, he's friends with Angelique. I think
And Jeanette?
And Jeanette, yes.
And Jeanette, I think we got his black belt maybe from
Street sports, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. So
that's
I
cool.
was talking with him, and I said, "Look, man." I said, you know, we rolled after the roll, and I said, maybe ask your professor if you can teach a little bit, because the black belt is a milestone, but the teaching makes you a better black belt. The details, the details, the looking at, analyzing how your students roll and how you roll. And that will give you some next steps. So at this point, you know, we've been around black belt for a while now, and I look at jiu-jitsu completely different than I did when I was, you know, younger or lower belt. So it's you're learning every day. I learn from new people. I look at, you know, I like diversity in the sense of how I learn. So, you know, I watch. I know that you guys used to make fun of me and call me a DVD man or whatever, right?
You would pirate the DVDs and you'd try to sell the pirated DVDs. Like a joke, right? With the guys, but
DVDinho. I became DVDinho, remember? Chris, I think
Chris Bernasabani.
yeah, he sent me a picture of me behind the
Yeah, a bunch of DVDs. And those days, it wasn't that long ago, but it was, right?
Yeah. So, but here's the thing: you cannot just come and train and that's it, and then you go home and then you come back and you train, and your growth is like limited. So you have to use a DVD or an instructional, right? You have to find somebody that you're interested in learning that's kind of your body type, in my opinion. You have to read, and then what I tell everybody, look, and here's like my agenda, right? It's right there. You got to write everything down. So if you're working on the guard, what do you have from the guard, right? So it becomes like this educational, reciprocal teaching in your brain where you're like developing all these things. So that's what allowed me to grow so much, is that I didn't just train. I read, I wrote, and I watched and asked questions. And that kind of like builds your game. And so I think when you become a teacher, you get to do all that.
Yeah, you have to explain it right and you have to be able to dissect it and give it to somebody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they understand it.
Yeah, so that's how I look at jiu-jitsu now. Yeah, you know, it's a little different than it was before, but I think it's better. Yeah.
What you got? What's all this written down on the notepad?
So every day that I wake up, sometimes I dream about what I have to write down the next day, but I write down a list, like an agenda of what I want to get done for the day. And like here, by the way, one of them was my BJJ lesson plan, right? Like what I want to work on, but I'll write everything down and then I start to cross out as I go. And it allows me to organize my thoughts, myself, whether it's work, whatever I need to get done. It allows me to organize myself in a certain way where I don't forget what the important things are. Right?
Prioritize.
So prioritize every day. Every day I wake up and you could, like I found a way to do it. I split the paper in half. So
And you carry a notepad around always with you?
always. It's sometimes you'll have an idea. You know, when I wrote my jiu-jitsu book, I wrote the kids book, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
ABCs of Brazilian
With
Jiu-Jitsu.
put your boys in it, yeah.
Dude, it was on a napkin. So I remember I was in Hawaii with my family, and I was like, I want to teach these guys something. Is there something for them to read? And there was nothing out there.
For kids, right?
Right. So I got a napkin and I said, AA is for arm bar. And it became ABCs of Jiu-Jitsu.
And you did it.
And we did it. And so, again, it's like setting yourself up to say, here's what I want to do. I'm going to get it done. Right. And never have any regrets on that because we got it done, as opposed to just being a pipe dream. Right.
Yeah.
We got it done. So this allows me to organize my thoughts. And then I can cross off what I've done, and then I start my new list. So some people think like, why every day you're walking around with the list? But it allows me to really like just kind of like monitor, manage, and kind of motivate myself.
Yeah, clear your brain, right? Too from you have thoughts, boom, or ideas, you write it down.
Yeah.
And then you're not repeating the same thing, or you don't forget, right?
Correct.
If there's a good idea.
Yeah. So shout out to my dad. It's his birthday today, so I wrote it down.
Oh, there you go.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I remember going to you were the assistant principal at the Jordan Middle School here in Burbank.
Blue blockers.
Yeah, you were like Pitbull with the blue blockers walking around, and just the level of confidence, like a certain, the way you walked, like the kids, just you there was like a respect there.
Yeah. I'm sure you hear this theme all the time. Is like we're solution-oriented people on the mat. You have to be, right? If somebody throws something on you, if you react, sometimes the react gets you to get submitted, right? Or if you just kind of like...
You've shared with me, too, just on, like, your confidence level, like how... Yeah, just everything you've done, everything you do, everything in your life, it's because of, like, jiu-jitsu, the things that you learn on the mat. And it's carried over to just how you approach everything. Yeah. Talking to people, leading, motivating.
It allows you to talk. Some people struggle with just talking, and then they don't sound authentic, right? I think I'm not sure if you were the one that told me, but you said like, every time that I got a belt, I competed a couple times, like right after the belt. Like I got a belt, 1 week later, I signed myself and I don't know why, but I felt like, okay, so let me just test myself for a little bit, right? And some people are nervous about having a conversation with another person. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that if you look at that in jiu-jitsu, look at the way that people live and utilize jiu-jitsu, it allows a person that's very, very quiet to speak. Mm-hmm. And maybe their conversation is not verbal. Maybe it's jiu-jitsu, right? But it allows you to have those conversations and walk around with like, I'm okay. I'm okay because I do this. I remember I do think about this. Well, I'll have like this massive, task that I have to do, this job that I have to do. I'll have to present at a high-performing school. They think differently. And then I think I'll speak to the principal. I'll have a consultation before it, and principal says, "Well, just to let you know, they're gonna come at you, dude. They're gonna ask you these questions." And I said, in my mind, I'll say like, I've been in competition with high-level black belts under the lights. What your teachers are going to ask me, it's going to be okay. I think I put that into perspective, like going onto a match with like a super match where that they put you in there with a higher dude on purpose, right? This guy's going to get a highlight, and then you beat that guy. Yeah. Do you know if you can do that and be okay, then what are some questions? Or what happens if there's an incident? How do you find a solution to that? I think that's jiu-jitsu has allowed us to do that. It allows me to do that.
How much of communication is body language, tone, words? Because you mentioned like, even if the person doesn't speak a lot, but the body language or just how he communicates, right?
Yeah.
Differently.
Yeah. No, I think that's a big component of language itself. It's not even verbal. It's body. It's how do you walk in a place. You can see that. You can see the people on the mat. I don't know if you ever rolled with anybody who shakes a little bit. Mm-hmm. Meaning not because they shake, but because they're nervous about where they're going. And you're like, just relax. You're okay.
They're not sure, yeah.
Yeah, they're not sure yet. Or like maybe somebody who comes at you 3 million miles an hour because they're scared.
So
not
scared,
because they're just not because they're super fast or it's because they're nervous a little bit. So you can feel that on the mat. You can feel that in human communication. Like, does this person... And I think it goes back to my feedback that I get is you sound authentic, or from teachers, right, or from principals, is like, you clarified this for me, or you simplified it for me, or you you allowed me to express myself in a different way, and I think that's what fulfills us, right?
Yeah, I love it, man. Love it.
So body language is important, but also listening.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan. Like, just you've been educating and working with kids like your whole adult life, pretty much. It's pretty cool, and I've seen a lot of the kids that have benefited from. You've changed their lives. It's been beautiful to see that. You're talking about authenticity, and we're like atoms, where we're mainly energy, right?
Right. Yeah.
And we're vibration. Everything's vibration, right?
Yeah.
Everything's frequency, and our highest frequency is being authentic, our authentic selves.
Absolutely. We're like that light that just you can light somebody up. I mean, how many times have you had a conversation with somebody and made their day?
Yeah.
I sometimes I'll go on the phone and when I'm calling somebody and I'll say, "Good morning, how are you?" and they stay quiet. They don't know what to say because they've never been. It's weird. You think that they would, but even at schools, you'll call and say, "Good morning, how are you?" and they say, "Good morning, how are you?" and sometimes they get stuck and say, "How can I help you?" instead of saying "Good morning" back. Right. So I think just allowing yourself to lighten up somebody else's day, or teach them something.
Yeah.
Teach them something, right?
Yeah. Yeah, just the authenticity. Just you kept saying it. You said it a few times. I was like, man, that's really it's good. And jiu-jitsu, right? Like you have to be yourself. You can't be fake. Somebody's trying to choke you. You're trying to choke something. You have to let it flow. And however that comes out, it comes out. But it's authentic.
Right.
And that makes you. Like that book. I always mention this book, the Tribe book. And he's like, we need Sebastian Junger is the author, and he's like, we need 3 things, right, to be like happy, right? We need to be ourselves, authentic, be good at something, right? Be good at something, and then like connection with others. And so, if we're talking about jiu-jitsu a lot, right? So, if you do jiu-jitsu, that's, maybe other sports, you have 4 years in high school, baseball, or even whatever, soccer, or maybe college, but jiu-jitsu, or martial arts, you can do like the rest of your life.
And go anywhere.
Go anywhere.
You can't. There was a point where I used to go to different parks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go find a game. I'm gonna go find somewhere to play.
Soccer, yeah.
Play some soccer. And then there's a point where at a certain age, you just don't want to do that anymore because you don't know where you're getting into. When you're a kid, you can bounce back, right? But when you're a little older, you're like, do I really want to go hang out with these guys? I don't even know them. What if they what if they want to fight or whatever? But jiu-jitsu, you can go anywhere around the world, put on the belt, and the culture is respectful no matter where you're at, right? It's respectful. It's bringing you in. It's opening the doors. It's like, can you show me this? Can you talk to me about this? Can you walk me through this? I mean, there's no other sport. You can't do that in karate. You're not gonna go do kata with somebody. Maybe you can, I guess. But jiu-jitsu, you just jump into the mat and you roll. And you teach and you talk, and the conversation is not verbal, because I love this when this happened to me in Argentina. I just came back from Argentina, and I never tell anybody what belt I am. Or
your dad's Argentinian, right?
I was born Argentina.
Or you were born there?
Yeah, I was born there. We came really early, but my whole family is from there. Right?
Okay.
And then so I went to Argentina a couple months ago for vacation for 3 weeks, and. I always call the school in advance, and I said, do you mind if I come and roll or train? My name's Leonidas, and I don't say, oh, I'm a black belt, get ready for, no, just, can I go train? And I offer how much is the pay, because most people, like, they take a day, fee or something, right? And sometimes, they see your belt and they're like, okay, well, let's check this guy out. Is he who he is, right? And so we'll roll, and then they know. They just know. It's not that you beat everybody up. It's not that you choke everybody else. It's just how you conduct yourself. We're not shaking. We can roll. We can handle. We could have a communication on the mat with our jiu-jitsu, and that changes things up a little bit too. So it becomes really cool, man.
Yeah, that's crazy, huh?
Right.
How we don't even know how things work. We're talking about like just you show up, you train like it's like a real thing, right? I went to Nicaragua and I just randomly called a place and they didn't know who I was and I showed up and now we're friends on social media. They're like, oh my God, we had this guy here.
Yeah.
Well, I trained. I trained with the professor and yeah, and it's, and of course there's like more respect, right? Because you can not just whatever put a belt on, but you can also perform, right?
Yeah.
And walk the walk, right?
I had one of the professors. I went to Calafate in Argentina. It's the Patagonia where the last glaciers are. Professor from Boa. Amazing dude. Amazing guy, man. Dude, it's like super nice person.
Where is it
Black
at?
belt, Argentina.
But we're in
Patagonia, all the way
down the south.
Calafate,
South.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like all the way to the south. We saw the glaciers.
Tell me about I've always like I
gotta
went to
go.
Buenos Aires. We went to the falls, Iguazu, the falls,
Iguazu?
and we went to
I'll
to
tell
go
you a
right to
story.
Uruguay.
Just wait till I tell you a story about
Okay.
Iguazu, okay?
Okay.
Just wait to that one, dude. Almost, oh my God. But anyway, so we get to Califate, and I call this place up, and the gentleman says, "Of course." And I go and we change, and he's changing with me, and put my belt on, and he's like, "Maestre," right away, "Maestre, can you teach the class?" And I said, "Absolutely, what a pleasure. Please videotape it." Right, I love this. Some guy from Guatemala, a blue belt from Guatemala, was there on vacation, videotapes the training session, or his girlfriend was videotaping the training session. He calls me through WhatsApp to see how I'm doing based on the fires. Man,
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? The connection, is amazing. Just to check on me.
Yeah.
Like not a text, man, a call.
Yeah.
Maestre, how you doing? How's the fires? Is your family okay? I can't wait to see you come back. I just like, and so I have a question for you. Then I'll tell you my story because the story will knock you out. But
Okay.
what would you be if you never got into jiu-jitsu or any type of martial art? Do you know?
It's just been so long, and it's been my my life, my self-image. So much of it is it's all one at this point, right? It's kind of hard for me to imagine another life for me at this point. I'm very grateful though for the opportunities and the experiences, and that I get to do what I really love to do. But it's hard for me to imagine me have done anything else in my life without this. I mean, the pandemic was an interesting time because you were there training. Where I was training during that time,
we were training.
And
Thank you
and
for opening up the
yeah,
doors.
yeah. Well, we did our little private training, right? And really showed me like, man, like I believe in this, and I need it too, right? I need this for my mental health and everything else, and yeah, it showed me like I'm willing to put it down, like not to be all dramatic, but kind of like die kind of for this, because I believe in this for a better world, better people, happiness, true happiness. So yeah, it really showed me what it means to me and how strongly I believe in it.
Yeah.
That time, remember the neighbor was calling on us, calling the police on us, right? We were filming, and then me and you.
We had to stop you.
Yeah, you were. The good thing you were there, and it was there,
We had to stop you,
because and that door was locked because that guy, the neighbor, was calling the cops, right? It was private, me and you, and we're filming, with some of the coaches, like classes, like online classes, for us to stay connected, right? We're during that time, and that neighbor kept calling the police, right, on us, like harassing us.
Yeah.
And then what happened that he came in.
It was the police officer that came in and started harassing, like being rude. I mean,
He came out his body language. Speaking of body language, came at me hard. Came at us hard. And I couldn't believe it, because it was already being. We're already like upset and just not happy with the whole situation.
You went to the next level.
What's that?
By the way, I always tell.
But luckily, you're like, hey, take a walk.
Yeah.
Take a walk,
Let's go.
and
Let's go.
and I took a walk, and Eddie was there. Luckily, nothing happened. And that poor the officer apologized after.
He did.
But I did too. Yeah, with just because he was just doing his job, right, showing up. But I was like, I couldn't believe it, man. Like our doors are locked, everything's locked. This guy's coming through a back door.
We had
Yeah,
covered.
well, not even that at that point. But everything's locked. We're closed, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that I'm getting harassed because I'm training, I'm moving my body, I'm exercising, It's crazy.
No, it's I think that question is important. I wanted to ask you. I was glad that I came in to ask you that question because I don't know where I would be. I know that
That's a good question. How about for you?
Yeah, it's a cliche. I know that you're like, well, martial arts saved my life. Jiu-jitsu saved my life. I would have been a human, obviously. I would have been alive, but I would have made many more mistakes throughout my path. I would have not left assistant principal to go through a hard principalship interview. I remember that interview, and there was 2 already made principals. We had a panel of like the whole community of Pacoima, all parents and kids and families, and 3 panelists. I was one, and then there was 2 principals that were already principals somewhere else. And I turned around, and I looked at both. Man, I could choke that guy out. I could choke that guy out. And I remembered, we compete for fun. They can't beat me. If I didn't have that, I would have shrunk because they had the answers. I didn't have the answers. Being assistant principal for 10 years doesn't automatically make you a principal.
Right.
There has to be, you have to connect all of education. And my goal, my strength has always been, community building, connections with kids, connections with teachers. Instruction is something else. I had to learn instruction to be a good leader. I had to learn instruction to be where I'm at today. I was a good connector. I was a good, let me help that kid. Let me show that kid that there's another way than just getting in a fight or yelling at the teacher or not doing their homework. Let me help that kid figure out a path where they can become a good adult after school, right? After school's ends, right? So I had to battle against 2 black belts that were seasoned with stripes against this new black belt, and I believed in myself, and I beat them. I won. I won in the sense that they acknowledged my skills because I was confident under fire, under questions.
Under pressure, yeah.
Yeah, and so, again, I go back to that question all the time. What would I be? I wouldn't be where I'm at today. That's 100% for sure. And I think that's what attracts people to jiu-jitsu.
It makes you stay, right?
Yeah.
Makes you stay. Because, have you taken a break?
No, never.
Yeah. It's cool to see like Mark Zuckerberg and see all these, celebrities training right now. We didn't have that, 15, 20 years ago.
I wish I can give you the name of this doctor. I read an article. He wrote an article based on what jiu-jitsu is. He was a brown belt at the time. He was a psychologist. And he said that in the article, he said, he asked a question to the reader, do you know why jiu-jitsu is addicting for so many people? And I wanted to know.
Right.
Because in our society, we don't hug or shake hands or kiss anymore. To your family, to your friends, we're disconnected.
Yeah, there's not enough touch.
Right? We don't. It's like, when I went to Argentina, everybody's kissing you on the cheek, man.
Yeah.
Men and women just kiss you on the cheek. How are you, hermano? Thank you for being here. And here it's like we look at each other and give us the nod or whatever, but we don't touch. And so jiu-jitsu allows you to kind of like build a community of you're my brother and we're trained together, and you choke me and I choke you, but it's okay. We're friends at the end. And so that article really changed my life in the sense of how I talk to people about jiu-jitsu. It connects you.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of the 3 things, right? That connection with others.
Goes back.
Yeah.
We lost it as a community, We lost it. It's the internet, dude.
Man, have you seen some of those graphs where they have like time, like in the 20s and 30s, you spent time with family, maybe church, where you spent your time. And then whenever the internet came out, like in the 90s or 2000s, like went from 80%, whatever, friends or whatever, moved up, right? Like family was less as we're in the 60s and 70s, whatever. And then you get to the 90s and 2000s, and everything goes online. The teens right now, everything's online. It's like 80-90% of your time is online compared to
people don't talk to each other anymore. That goes back to what I said. I'll say how are you, good morning to somebody, and somebody will just look at me like. I did an experiment. I walked into a school and there was a bunch of kids passing by, they were tardy, And I said, good morning, have a wonderful day. And they would look at me and just keep on walking. They don't even acknowledge, man. It's a different, it's a different society.
Yeah, it's doing that thing, and for the martial arts, you have to, you have to acknowledge, you have to see people. The little thing we do at the beginning of class is just acknowledging people and saying hello, right?
Yeah,
like a little thing.
Right.
And you see people that that are a little bit socially awkward and they have a hard time doing that.
Yeah.
Right.
But then they become connected.
They do. That's it. And it changes them.
Yeah. So I think that's a big piece. I always recommend to everybody that, in my opinion, of working in 28 years in education now, 28 years. I can't believe it.
Wow.
It's a long time. And education, the kids that are the most
Used to not have a beard.
silver, yeah.
Then it turned. Then you did have a beard, and then it was black, and now it's white.
It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. It's confidence, dude. It's wisdom.
But you look better than when I first met you.
Right. We're getting healthier. It's eating, right? Because I want to stay the course, man.
Yeah.
How I eat, what I'm doing, how I exercise, all that stuff builds into who you are, right? But I always tell people, out of the 28 years of education, particularly this goes out to like moms and dads, the kid that is the most comfortable, confident student is the wrestler. The wrestler, the grappler.
Comfortable and confident.
Yeah, and concise and clear and can communicate has been the wrestler. Whether it's the coach teaching the kid certain modalities, but the kid being so confident in themselves that they don't have to react. They could just listen and learn, and they help the teacher. And so that's what I've seen. It's like parents will go, what do I do with my kid? He's getting in trouble. He's disconnected with school. I said, put him in a grappling art. There's a jiu-jitsu school, take him. That's going to be the key. It builds them. It builds them up. It's been at least what I've seen in education. Wrestlers, man, the kids walk around different.
Kids doing jiu-jitsu, right? If they stick with it,
they just
it changes everything.
Right. Look at what's the kid right now with the fireman?
Yeah, there you go. It's a great example. Right?
He walks around like he's a beast, man.
He was 15, and he had a lot of anger issues, and he was kind of.
Did he challenged me?
Yeah, he was savage, like all kinds of people. He had had a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
And it completely became a part of who he was.
Yeah.
And then he fast forward, and the fire department's calling me for a reference, asking me the questions like, "Hey, is he good under pressure?" I'm like, "Well, he's a jiu-jitsu black belt, like, that's the game, right?"
Calm, controlled, and confident.
And does he follow through with what he starts? Like, well, it takes a lot of years to get your black belt. So he's a jiu-jitsu black belt, and he asked me like one more question, right? And then he's like, "Thank you for your time."
And there he is, right there.
Yeah.
Açai jungle. Right
yeah. But it's amazing, right? It's amazing to see, what it does for not just young people, kids, but for all of us, right?
Yeah. I hope that I can set that for my sons. I hope that they can see what we've been through, like how we live our lives, how we remain clean, right? How we make the positive decisions are always made on your family, right?
Right.
What is best for them, what is best for your partner, whatever whatever the situation you may be in. I'm hoping that when I leave this earth, that my sons will remember that piece and say, this was my dad. He did this. He worked this hard. It doesn't matter that even when he was older, he was still, and connected into that community and supporting others and helping others find solutions and supporting people to step up and grow up and build up. And that I hope they get that. They do. One thing that my two sons do though is like if they ever walk into a room, the first thing they do is shake somebody's hand and look at your eyes. I taught them that for sure, and respect the people that you talk to. And so they have. They do that every single time, and it's beautiful to see because not too many folks do that,
Yeah. Especially younger people, right?
We gotta help them.
Man, we were just talking about we were talking before the podcast, but just on life, right? Life things, and you know, this level of the game, right? This level of the game of life. Like, what's your philosophy on just living? Now, 10 years, 20 years, like, what are your thoughts?
Well,
Where do you want to be? What do you want to be? What do you want to, you know, what do you want to do?
I definitely work every single day on making sure that I don't let negative thoughts come into my brain. And I think we battle that, right? I work very hard on that. I read a lot of books to stay calm.
The Napoleon Hill, he had a quote like, you know, protect your peace of mind because your life depends on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Napoleon Hill, he's one of the books I read for
right?
sure.
Think and Grow Rich,
Yeah. And so that is, you know, just every day I go over, I listen to this certain antidotes every single day. Don't let any bad thoughts come in. They're just disruptive. It has nothing to do with reality. And so I build that calmness in me. I want to be calm. I want to be comfortable. I want to be clear and concise with my communication. I want to be confident when I walk around and I go into places. I want to leave people with nuggets when I work with them or talk to them. I want them to live and then hand it to the next person, right? Like, can I, you know, like pay it forward type of thing. But I want to be calm and I want to take care of my sons and make sure that they're happy and comfortable. And then, you know, just as I end towards, you know, coming towards the maybe retirement one day, just continue staying healthy and strong with my jiu-jitsu, continue teaching. And that becomes, you know, continuous part of, like I said, we look at like Savage and we're like, I want to be there.
Yeah, being a part,
that.
right?
Yeah, but that's what I do. I do think that as I get older, my jiu-jitsu's definitely changed, but my mindset is of being a human being that is calm and collective, and I'm able to help others feel the same way.
Helping others.
Yeah.
That's good. There was a guy I was, you know, with all the genetic coding and all the technology, right? AI and everything. He was saying that we're going to live to 120, 140 easy.
I don't know if I want to live that long, man.
Healthy, right? Healthier,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So what do you think about that?
Dude, you know, we were talking about the other day how, like, you know, when we compete, at least, you know, I still remember. I saw the gold medal from our competition that we did together. Remember?
Yeah, we closed the bracket.
Right. I saw.
Yeah, we have a picture with Hicks and Gracie.
Right? Yeah. I look better now than that picture, though. By the way.
Do you have that picture?
I do have it. You don't have
cool.
it?
Yeah, I think so. If not, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I have it. Yeah. So
because it's that kind of cool picture, you know, we
beautiful. It was till later that I recognized how important that picture is for a jiu-jitsu person, you know, for one.
And I was the one like, hey, let's take a picture with Hickson.
For sure.
Seize
he
the
looked
moment.
amazing. He looked amazing, man. You know, and so, you know, give me your question again, because I got lost with the Hickson. I started looking at that picture again, and it's like, you know, I saw the
120, 140 years.
Yeah.
Think you know, with all the technology and everything. And what do you think about that? Is that good or bad? What are your thoughts?
I don't know. You know, I want to live my life and be happy to a certain point where I could take care of myself and we're good to go, right? And I want to see my sons grow up and then they're happy and go on with their life. But we were talking about, there's this one thing on Netflix about, and I'm probably going to be a plug for that guy, Live Forever. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I've seen that guy,
It just takes like a lot of vitamins and,
right.
whatever. And so it goes back to that conversation. You know, when we compete at our age group, some guys, not all guys, but some guys, man, have a little enhancement, right?
They take some vitamins and minerals.
Some, you know, what is bomba? I don't know.
Açai with cheese.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I remember I do. It is whoever wants to do whatever they want to do. It's their body, you know. I don't want to do anything that I have to keep on using for the rest of my life. So I'm gonna eat clean and get natural vitamins in my body, And then when I just can't go any further, then that's just what happens in nature, right? But
Yeah.
I'm nervous about that. Like as you add more things to your genetics or your body, or you're converting certain things that are not natural,
Right.
right? Because are there studies? I don't know. Are there studies about all these things that people are injecting? I mean, there's some things that are coming out right now with like the fillers and stuff. Like, have you seen that? You know what a filler is? Like,
no.
Okay, so you know how people like inject their
Right.
And the fillers are making people's faces expand,
Right.
because
And
they
then
don't
shrink,
dissolve.
right? Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Be healthy, right? Be healthy, and
this
be
way. Mate, yerba mate.
There we go. Be healthy, and it comes down to the quality of the life, right? You know, I remember talking to my mom and about living forever, right? What if we live forever? What about that question?
Yeah. How would you feel if you lived forever?
I don't know, man. Like, you know, because
Your name lives forever, though. Everywhere I go, they ask me, you know, where'd you get your black belt, Alberto Crane? Oh, dude.
yeah, I mean,
They know you, man. They know you. And
I think our legacy, right? Our legacy is, like you said, like making a difference, helping others. You know, because I mean, okay, you're George Washington, whatever. You're this, that. You're, you know, whatever. You know, it's thousands of years. Maybe it'll be in the history books, right? But I mean, like, I think it's the ripple effect, right, in the history of humanity, like doing good work, helping others, making the world a better place. I think that's the legacy, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I don't know. We should live, right? We should live. I'm just talking about me, right? But I think that's what we should be giving back, right? With this beautiful opportunity of life, right? And opportunities that we have.
Every day. I saw this thing on Instagram the other day where this older lady was just saying, "Don't save your joys," because they go like that.
Yeah.
Like, right? If you want to do something and you want to like again be nice to somebody, or you want
Say
to
it, right?
just say it, or
Call
you
them
wanna,
up, just squash whatever nonsense you have going on.
right? There's no time for that,
Yeah.
man. Why you want to be angry at people? There's no time.
Yeah.
And so this lady said, "Look, you know, I waited, and now look where I'm at." And and people have passed away, and she didn't say her piece, you know. So I'm thinking, like, just
Tell them you love them
all day long.
You know.
You know that my sons every single day, every day, text me, "I love you," and I tell them I love you too. In person, my son, my 20. Yeah, you've seen Luca, right? Luca looks like a grown man.
Yeah,
dude.
that's beautiful, man.
He'll come in, he'll tell me.
If my
I love
kids
you,
are
Papa.
listening, hey, I won't mind if you guys do that. Okay.
Hey, caveman, have you called and said I love you, man?
I haven't called my dad in a long time.
Do it, brother. Do it, because time goes really, especially for your dad's a little our age, maybe, man. It goes by really quickly. But I mean, everything goes away. But my kids tell me they love me every single day. That's amazing.
Well, thank you, brother. Thank you
man.
for hanging out. It's always fun talking to you and you know,
See you on the mat.
spending time together, training.
Train.
So, guys, train.
Yeah. By the way, for those people that don't understand when I say train means like hello, how are you, and let's train. That's why I say train. It's got like a triple meaning to it, you know.
It's funny because I've known all these years, like you've always said, like let's train or train. It's like a lot of years, right?
Yeah.
A lot of years, and so you can put everybody that knows you, like little emoji of the train, you know.
Yeah, no, but that's what it means. And I started kind of like people like, dude, can you get? I'm tired of you telling me train. I go, no, train means hi. How are you? You know, or train means like, you know, let's train, let's work out, or you know, I hope you're doing well. I mean, it's weird like that. Maybe you have to kind of like understand that.
If you do this, you get it, right? But move, do stuff, which is positive, and it's connection, it's love, it's, you know, man. Let's move, let's train,
let's train. And now I get a lot of people just text me train.
Yeah, man,
you know?
It's awesome.
On Instagram or whatever, they just like train.
It's motivational.
That's it. Let's just train. Let's all train together, man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you for everything.